Bora, rapaziada, mais uma live. Eu não sei se vocês estão me escutando ou não, mas hoje a gente vai ver C e a meta é terminar a minha parte do trabalho de C, tá? Então, basicamente é isso. Vambora. Eu não sei se meu áudio tá funcionando. De C, tá? Então, basicamente é isso. Vambora. Eu não sei se meu áudio tá funcionando. De C, tá? Então, basicamente é isso.
Language invented by Dennis Ritchie at AT&T Bell Laboratories in the early 1970s. Many of the ideas of C language were taken from the earlier B language and its ancestors. C is a middle level programming language. Because of that, we can use C for system level programming like writing. operating systems and also for developing games and applications. It is a structured programming language meaning we can write our programs using a set of functions and modules. For object-oriented programming, we can use C++, the extension of the C language. To get started with C language, you need to have a compiler installed for C language. GCC and Clang are widely used. A C file ends with a .c extension and a mandatory main function is required in every C file. On top of your C file, you can import other C files whose code can be used in your C program. These files are called header files and can be on top of your C file, you can import other C files whose code can be used in your C program. These files are called header files and they end with a .h. extension. To import a header file, use #include and then the file name in angle brackets if it is from the standard C library or in double quotes if you have your own header file. Like here, I have included the stdio.h header file from the C library.
Work today is broken. We're all working in too many disconnected apps, and it's killing team productivity. But for the first time, there's a platform that fixes it by combining everything you need. projects, chat, and knowledge in one.
Which includes functions like scanf and printf, which are used for input and output in C programming. There are 32 keywords in C language and 5 primary data types, where char is used to refer characters, int is for integer, float is for decimal values up to 6 digit after the decimal point, double is. There are 32 keywords in C language and 5 primary data types in C programming. There are 32 keywords in C language and 5 primary data types, where char is. There are 32 keywords in C language and 5 primary data types, where char is used to refer characters, int is for integer, float is for decimal values up to 6 digit after the decimal point, double is also for decimal values but up to 15 digits after the decimal point, and void is for empty. Void is usually used in functions to specify the return value. To declare a variable, specify the data type and the variable name. There are some rules for declaring the variable. If you want to read them, pause the video. Name. There are some rules for declaring the variable. If you want to read them, pause the video. After that, if you want to assign the value to the variable, you can do it or you can set it later. But make sure to enter a semicolon after the end of every statement. To print something, you can type printf and then in brackets use double quotes, and in that double quotes write anything that you want to print. You can print the value of the variables with the help of format specifiers. Percentage %d is used for integer data type, and then after closing the double quotes, comma, and then the variable name. These are other format specifiers for printing and scanning different types of data types. To take input from the user, we can use the scanf function. Type scanf and then double quotes and the format specifier for the data that will be entered by the user. And then after comma, ampersand symbol, aka address symbol in C language, and the variable name to store the data given by the address symbol by the user, and then double quotes and the format specifier for the data that will be entered by the user. And then after comma, ampersand symbol, aka address symbol in C language, and the variable name to store the data given by the user to the address of the variable. We can use these operators in C language for basic arithmetic operations. These relational operators are for comparing the values of the variables, and these logical operators are for combining two or more expressions. Like if a equals 6, and b equals 9, then run these statements. Here, if the value of a is 6 and the value of b is 9, then the code in the if statement will be executed. To write an if statement in the C program, type if and in brackets your condition like if a equals b, and then the code that you want to run in curly brackets if there are multiple statements. If there is only one, then you can write it without the curly brackets. After if, you can also add else statements so that if condition is false, the statements in the else section will be executed. We can also nest if else statements like this to make your code look more awesome. Or you can use an if else if ladder like this too.
Estão me perguntando como é que funciona essa inteligência artificial que atende os clientes pelo WhatsApp. Sim, ela é parecida.
It's your choice. A switch statement in code look more awesome. Or you can use an if-else if ladder like this too. It's your choice. A switch statement in C language helps select the statement to execute from a group of statements. A simple example of a switch statement can be like this. Let's initialize an int variable cars equals 2. Now we can give this cars variable in the switch statement, and then in curly brackets we can write our case like case 1 and then the statements for that case, and at last break to break out of the switch statement. You can have as many cases as you want. Here, what will happen is that the value of cars will be compared to these cases. If it is 1, then the code in case 1 will be executed, or if it is 3, then the code code in case 3 will be executed. You can also have a default case so that if none of the cases match, the default case will be executed. There are three types of loops in C language. While loop, do while loop, and for loop. To write a while loop, type while and then in brackets condition like A is not equal to B and then in curly brackets the code you want to run. For a do while loop, type do and then in curly brackets the code you want to run. For a do while loop, type do and then the code in curly brackets and then while and condition in brackets. In a do while loop, the code is executed no matter whether the condition is true or false and then the condition is checked. If it is false, the code won't rerun. While in the while loop, first the condition is checked and the given code will only run if the condition is true. After this two comes for loop, which gives us more control over loops. To write a for loop in a C program, we can type for and then in brackets we can initialize a control variable like int I equals 1 and then after that semicolon we can have our condition like I is less than or equal to 3. And then if we want to increment or decrement the value of I after running the code once given in the body of the loop. For example, this code will print 1, 2, 3 in the terminal. First, I equals 1 will be initialized and then the condition is checked. So I is less than 3, this condition is true. That is why the value of I will be printed, that is 1. Now the I will be incremented by 1, then the condition will be rechecked. So after incrementing I will be 2 and then the condition will still be true and 2 will be printed. When the value of I becomes 3, then also the condition will satisfy and 3 will be printed. After that I will become 4, the condition will become false and we will be exited from the loop.
Oi, cala a boca, caralho. Ô Enzo, cala a boca! Vasco.
Now let's see the functions. A function is a block of code that performs a specific task, like a function to add two numbers. To declare a function, first we need to enter the data type that the function returns. Then we can name the function and then in brackets the data that will be given to the function. Like here, two numbers will be given that will be stored in this integer data type variables. Then in curly brackets, the code of the function, and if you want to return something from the function, you can use the return keyword. Like here, we will be returning the value of the sum. To call this function and save the result of the addition, we can declare one variable. Then we can assign the value returned by the function to that variable. And in brackets, two numbers or integer type variables to perform the addition on that.
Rodolfo, como me torno programador? Em 10 segundos eu vou te falar. Você vai participar do nosso evento. 4 aulas gratuitas e de...
Array is a collection of data items of the same data type. You can declare an array the same as variables, but after the name, in square brackets, the size of the array. Like here, this array can store 10 items. But you can have empty square brackets if you assign the value to array elements at the time of array initialization. Remember that the counting starts from 0, so the index of the first item in the array is 0. To access any item from the array, you can write the array name and its index in square brackets. For the first element, the index will be 0. Not only a simple array, but you can also declare and work on two-dimensional or three-dimensional or any multi-dimensional array. When we declare a variable dimensional or three-dimensional or any multi-dimensional array. When we declare a variable, the variable name is assigned to the memory location in the memory. To get the memory address of that location, we can use ampersand. This is the address of the like variable. A variable that stores another variable's address is called a pointer. Declaring a pointer is almost the same as declaring a variable. you need to add a star sign before the variable name for the pointer. To store the address of any variable, write the pointer variable name and then use an ampersand to assign the address to the variable. You can use a star before the pointer name to get the value at the address stored in the pointer variable. Star is also known as dereferencing pointer, and a pointer that stores the address of another pointer variable is called as almost the same as declaring a variable. You need to add a star sign before the variable name for the pointer. To store the address of any variable, write the pointer variable name and then use an ampersand to assign the address to the variable. You can use a star before the pointer name to get the value at the address stored in the pointer variable. Star is also known as dereferencing pointer, and a pointer that stores the address of another pointer variable is called as double pointer. A string is an array of another also known as dereferencing pointer. and a pointer that stores the address of another pointer variable is called as double pointer. A string is an array of characters. To declare a string in a C program, we need to use the data type char and then the string name and in brackets the string size. And then your string like subscribe. To print or scan a string, you must use %s as a format specifier. There is a string.h header file in the C library which includes functions that you can use to compare strings, copy strings, and a lot more. In C language, the structure is strings, copy strings, and a lot more. In C language, the structure is a collection of different data items. You can use the struct keyword and then the structure name to declare a structure. After that, all the items for that structure are in curly brackets. After curly brackets, you can declare structure variables that will use the same structure template you declared above, or the struct keyword and then your structure name and the variables you want to declare for that structure. To store values in the structure variables, we can use curly brackets and the values separated by commas according to your structure template. To access or change the elements of your structure variables, type structure name and then dot and then the variable name. Union is a special data type in C that allows to store different data types in the same memory location. Special data structure name and then dot and then the variable name. Structure variables, type structure name and then dot and then the variable name. Union is a special data type in C that allows to store different data types in the same memory location. We can access and declare the union same as structure, but instead of struct keyword, we have to use the union keyword. But in union, you can only have one union member with the value at a time. After you assign the value to another union member, then the value of the previous union member is deleted. Union is used for efficient memory management. And at last, you can use double forward slash for single line comments in C language, and multi-line comments start with a forward slash and star and end with a star and forward slash. To compile your C program using GCC, you can type star and at last you can use double forward slash for single line comments in C language and at last is deleted. value to another union member, then the value is for the executable file.
A nossa equipe estava trabalhando como vários